This year we celebrate the 200th birthday of Carl Maria von Weber's romantic opera Oberon, of which you just heard an excerpt, namely the beautiful Barcarolle. The main figure of which, and king of the elves, Oberon, has had a quarrel with Titania, his queen, and this quarrel led Oberon to vow not to be reconciled with her until a pair of human lovers are found who have been faithful to each other through all perils and temptations. Hence, this operatic story evolves around the constant search of stability despite contemporary difficulties. Such search is also conducted separately, both through the European Union Artificial Intelligence Act as well as through the European Union Climate Law, one could remark. Firstly, it is very impressive what technology has achieved lately. It seems that the significance of humans is substantially reduced by the presence of artificial intelligence, which has managed to become a part, and I'd rather remark a significant part, of everyday's life. It may very well affect both economy and the law, needing, of course, legal answers. In order to address possible dangers arising of such progress, especially for consumers, the European Union legislator decided to act as some sort of pioneer by issuing the European Union Artificial Intelligence Act, aiming at coordinating, so to say, the member states' legal reaction towards a safe, consumer-friendly using of artificial intelligence in order to lead to market stability despite contemporary difficulties. Secondly, combating climate change has been on the agenda of the European Union especially since 2019. Hence, the Green Deal was initiated, a collection of present and future European Union legal acts which may help to materialize the provisions of Article 191 TFEU in regard to the Union's climate goals. All this in order to lead to an environmental stability despite contemporary difficulties. Is there a connection between the Artificial Intelligence Act and the European Union Green Deal? Of course, there are various ones, and I will focus on two. First of all, based on Article 53 of the European Union Artificial Intelligence Act, providers of general-purpose artificial intelligence models must prepare technical documentation and information also regarding the actual or at least the estimated energy consumption of these models. EU institutions, especially the Artificial Intelligence Office, are entitled to request this information at any time. This may actually add to the necessary transparency, which at the end of the day is also consumer-oriented. Since estimates are permitted in this context, there seems to be no mandatory precise measurement or public carbon footprint disclosure, though. And the second connection between the Artificial Intelligence Act and European Union climate law, which I'd like to talk about, would be Article 40 of the Artificial Intelligence Act and the matter of harmonization standards for resource consumption performances. Through Article 40 of said regulation, the Commission is allowed to develop certain standards of harmonization for enhancing the overall improvement, mainly of artificial intelligence system resource performances. These shall further serve the topic of energy efficiency, basically through a reduced resource consumption. It has to be remarked that these standards shall be created and developed voluntarily by the stakeholders involved. The Commission, through its ever-existing monitoring competence, may request the development of standards covering the matter of reporting. But still, this overall seems to be more of an incentive rather than an enforcement mechanism. Actual reductions of resource consumption do not seem to be guaranteed at all. Now, having shortly thought about these two elements, as a conclusion, one could remark that the European Union Artificial Intelligence Act is, of course, an attempted answer of the European Union legislator to contemporary developments in the area of artificial intelligence, and also that its interconnectivity with other secondary legal acts, for instance, the European Union Green Deal contents, is apparent. But as it is the case for other similar European Union secondary legal acts, the transitional period which has been foreseen within the Artificial Intelligence Act until its complete positive applicability is quite long, reducing possibilities of efficiently answering to contemporary issues. Technology, based on our experience, is usually far ahead when it comes to its further developing. It does not await legislators' reactions. So it actually remains to be seen, and only legal reality can provide that answer, whether the European Union Artificial Intelligence Act will be able to fulfill its goals. Or, to paraphrase the aforementioned operatic plot of Oberon, if the constant search of stability despite contemporary difficulties can be, at the end of the day, a successful